Good morning, Coolest Coast. It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin O'Dell of KLO. I'm Tina Prigge with Vagabond Creative Studio. Welcome back. We're so glad to see you after this hiatus.
I know. It feels like it's been forever.
Like, do we need to reintroduce ourselves? Do I know
I
how this
know.
equipment works?
What's funny is I actually have had a number of people say, "Are you and Tina still doing the show, or are you guys going to be on this week?"
So they
And
missed us.
it makes my heart happy.
Yeah. Oh, that makes my heart so happy. Well, and it will also, viewers, I think, make you happy because we have some good reasons that we had to take a little break. I'm going to give you a little clue as I take a sip of coffee. Let's see. Can I? Oh, no. Can you read it? Oh, there.
There.
Let's pretend I'm taking a sip of coffee.
Tina and Jason, you have a new member of your little family.
Yes. No, not our family. I'm not the one, but yes, there's a
Yeah.
new member of our tribe, and my brother and sister-in-law just had a baby, and this is her, and she's like literally just a few days old in this picture, and I love her little eyes. Let's see. I might have a little better picture. Look at that. And Kristin, there is just something so amazing about holding this new little life form and then to start to contemplate philosophically like we all started here.
Yes, we did all start as these like teeny little scrunched up balls. She is so beautiful and so sweet.
And just so amazing to watch her, just kind of try to figure out the world and like open her eyes and kind of look around and be like, what have I gotten myself into?
I love it. Yeah. So the first week you were waiting with bated breath. I was in Omaha the first week you skipped the show. You were waiting. She didn't come.
Right. My sister basically, but my sister-in-law, she was dilated 3 centimeters for a whole week and like 60% effaced. So we're all like, does that mean it's happening? Like, you know, medically, I don't know what that means, but it means something's happening, right? So like, I didn't know, like, is it now? And so my brother would call and I'd answer the phone. I'd be like, is it baby time? You're like, oh, the cats did something cute I wanted to tell you about. I'm like, ah, you know.
Right. So then last week,
So then they actually induced her.
yes.
They picked a date and induction happened. And once that happened, it went very smoothly. Only a couple of pushes and the miracle was out. So
Oh, I love it. How many days did you get to spend with them?
I was down there for 3 days. And
Oh,
partially, so she's got a big sister who's 14 months, and she is just like the light of my life. This is a picture of her. Look at, she's learned how to like do number one. And like if she wants something, she knows to point at it like this and like give you this little finger. But you can see she's got some medical complications. And so, being at the hospital with the new baby, they really needed just extra hands to help out with this lovely little girl.
I love that you got to hang out with her. She is so cute.
No.
I love her. She's got a very serious look on her face. Like, don't mess with me.
Yeah, she is wicked smart. She is just this smart little cookie, and it's so fun to see her learn things. She knows to clap and the so big, and she's really working on standing. And it's funny, like you'll say, "You want to stand up?" And she'll like grab your hands and pop up, and then she wants to let go. She's like, "Don't touch me. I got this." Right? And then all of a sudden you see this look of fear, like, "I'm falling."
Help me. Why aren't you helping me?
So
Oh
it's so
my
fun.
gosh.
And I think my favorite moment is we were doing that, and then all of a sudden she just looked at me and she just threw her arms around me and gave me this big hug. And I'm like, okay, I am in aunt heaven.
Oh my gosh. What an amazing couple of days. I was just going to say, I see a little bit of like Teek's eyes in Saphira. Look at
Oh,
her. I see her. I feel like their eye shape is the same.
that's awesome. It's interesting how genetics travel through families.
Yeah.
And yeah, her little face is like totally different than this little face, right?
Yes. Totally. Who do they think the new baby? Who do they think that she looks like?
Mom.
Really?
Yeah, like my sister-in-law, I think.
Oh my gosh, it's just so much fun having a new baby around and being able to snuggle and hang out. I feel like time stops a little bit just for that moment in time.
Yeah, and the hardest part is they're down in the Madison area, so it's not like I can just finish a day's work and pop over and get some snuggles. I've got to like methodically plan it, but I cannot wait to get
Yeah.
back.
Has your mom and dad been down there yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been kind of trying to tag team going down and giving them support.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations to your whole family. It's so much having the new little fingers and toes.
And I should say, so this does say best aunt ever. It should probably say best aunt ever in our family. You know what I mean? Because I know there's a lot of amazing aunts out there. So I'm not trying to usurp that title in any way.
I don't know, Tina. You're pretty up there as it goes for ants.
Good morning, Connor, and thank you for those kind words.
I would like to think that I'm in second place running for that at least.
I mean, I feel like I should maybe just pass this mug over and then you could use it, right?
I love it.
So, Kristin, so that was one reason why we weren't live the last 2 weeks. And then you were doing amazing work stuff in Omaha. Tell us a little bit about that. And
Yes.
when we say Omaha, we're talking Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah. So I feel like it's only been 2 weeks ago, but it feels like forever ago. I went out to Omaha. Gallup has their annual kind of Gallup at Work summit, and people from all over the world fly in to Omaha to spend, 3 or 4 days at a conference just to learn about everything new that's happening in the workplace. And so some of the sessions I went to are more about workplace and engagement, and some of them pertain specifically to my coaching business, but it was incredible. It's just always, there is something about the injection of knowledge and like meeting people that just fills you up.
Yeah, and it's keeping you on the forefront of the industry that you're, involved in, right? You can bring this directly back to your clients.
Right. It inspires me and kind of gets me going again. It helps me brush up on my coaching skills, so even, you just kind of go throughout the year and you're doing your stuff, and it's just kind of that thing you need to like feel really good about it or feel validated. Like there were some sessions I sat in on coaching where like, I'm like, yes, I do a fabulous job. I'm doing everything they're talking about. And that is also just a good feeling to be able to have that place. Because when you're here doing your thing, there's not a lot of other benchmarks where you can just say, am I on track? Am I doing what the industry calls for? But when you get into a place where it's all coaches or many coaches, now all of a sudden you have this perspective. And so it was so valuable in so many ways.
Oh, that validation really is valuable.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever been to Omaha?
No, I don't, not if I have, it wasn't memorable. So no, I'm going to say no.
It is a wonderful little city. They have this section of the community called the Old Market, and there's all these cute little restaurants and stores, and it's walkable from where we stay for the conference. And so it's just, they have a ton of outdoor spaces and eating places outdoors, and it's just really, really beautiful. It's a really cool city. So the girls and Doug have never gone with me there, but it's really tempting to say like, let's go out and let's make a week of it, because it's just it's such a cool place.
Okay, I'm putting Omaha on my list. And I love the fact that, something that benefits you in the job that you do, right? Also led to this adventure of getting to explore a new city and, just step out on the street. When you're someplace new, you have to really be in the moment, right? Like, which direction am I going? And can I get back to where I need to be, right? Like, what's this restaurant? What's happening here? Like, I love that experience.
Yeah. And I think this was my third time being there. And it's just always good. It's always fulfilling. And yeah, it was good. It was a great little just professional break for me.
So as a regular now, are you finding spots that, are your go-to places?
I don't know if we do. We have definitely, the mailman is here. So sorry. Yeah, we definitely have a couple of places. The conference actually plans certain things. So a lot of our meals are taken care of. There's like a big networking and social event on the Tuesday night of the conference. So there was a band there and outdoor games and character drawing people and just like all these incredible things. So it's just really fun. One of the other cool things is Tina, you and I participated in a book club.
Yeah.
January and February of 24. And I
hosted
hosted
back to this comment. So keep going.
Yeah. So we read this book, Culture Shock, which I brought back from the conference last year. And so we met these incredible people. There was like 6 of us in this little book club. Well, 2 of the people I got to meet at the conference in person.
I love
is
that.
Always really fun, right?
I love that. How fun was that? So, and then did you guys recognize each other by sight? Like, was
Yeah.
it just like, "Oh, it's you?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like Jan, so one of our friends that joined us on the book club was from, now I lost it.
England, right? She was from
Yes,
some like
England. Thank you. I was going to say London. I'm like, that's not right. She was from England. And so, like, there's a distinct accent. And she just, like, her cadence of how she talks, I was like, that is Jan. I can hear her voice. So,
So you, like, kind of heard her first and then thought, "Oh my gosh, it's my friend." Wow, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and I just, there's something different. I mean, it was so cool in this book club. First of all, it was such an intimate little thing when we did it, but to go from meeting somebody on Zoom for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it was, and get to know them, as a pretty small group. So we got, we had lots of discussion, but to get to meet them in person just kind of took it to the next level. And then, like, the last day right before I left, I got to meet our friend Jason, and he happened to be sitting right behind me in our last session. And I was like, Jason! It's just so cool because I kind of had this underlining goal of, like, I want to at least be able to say hi to them in person.
And one thing I really, liked about Jan's story, she talked about how for a long time she kind of worked in the rat race of London, and then she finally said, "You know what? This is too much." And maybe the pandemic kind of helped her make this decision, I can't remember, but now she's, like, on the coast, maybe it's Brighton, maybe it's Bristol, somewhere on the coast, right? And it's a much more chill life, and it almost reminds me, when she was talking about it, of being in Manitowoc, like Manitowoc compared to Chicago, for
That's
example, right?
right. That's right. And she's just like, she's a researcher and a scientist, and just, like, she's an incredible individual all in her own right. So, but yeah,
Hey, Connor mentioned who's excited for the weekend. Manitowoc Marina is having a kayak-free demo day on Saturday. Also, if you see new boat slip and kayak launch by River Point, that's pretty cool. And they also installed some floating habitats, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard about. And another reason I'm excited for the weekend is this Friday. Can I just tell you guys, Dr. Temple Grandin is coming to Manitowoc, and she's going to be at the Capitol Civic Center. And I feel so honored because I get to be the one on stage having a conversation with her. I'm so blown away, and I can't believe I get to meet her.
you're going to be, first of all, just brilliant at this. You're such a good, just natural journalist and question asker that, like, I know you're going to do amazing. That event is sold out, like, fast.
In
Like,
12 hours, it's sold out.
yes. And which I just think is so incredible. And it actually inspires me that, like, I hope we have more opportunities like this, because there's obviously a hunger for this type of thing.
Right, right. I love the fact that the community is interested and that it's sold out, because then that encourages the Friends of the Manitowoc Public Library to continue holding cool author events like this.
Right. Okay. So for people that don't know, tell us about Temple Garden. Tell us what you know.
Okay, Dr. Temple Grandin, she is approximately 70 years old. She has lived a life with autism. When she was very young, two, three, something like that. So she's 70, right? So this is, back in early days. Um, Doctors were telling her mom, you just need to put her in an institution. And fortunately, her mom completely advocated for her and took all sorts of measures to help her make her way in the world, gave her tools, things like that, gave her guidance. She also was, blessed with teachers in her lives that could kind of help understand we can motivate her through her interests rather than trying to shove her into our box and make her, she talks about how she's a visual thinker, how when she thinks about something, it's in pictures. Like she can see like a completed video clip about something, or
Mhm.
has like this compendium of a Rolodex of all these images rather than thinking in language or in another way. So something that's abstract like math is complicated and difficult and hard to understand. But if it's in pictures, right, like that's how her mind works. And
Right.
so she has taken everything she's accomplished, right? She's a doctor, she's got her doctorate. So she has made the most of her life, and she has written books and she gives talks and she helps, I think, give courage to other parents and caregivers who have children that have autism, to advocate for them, right? And to help them live their best life and to see it not as a disability, but just like a special way of thinking that. So she asserts that Albert Einstein probably had some form of autism. And that is what helped him focus and think about and be in his own little way, right, to help change the world.
Sure.
And that's what we need, right? We need genius thinkers, not just everybody shoved into the same box. So I'm super interested to hear what she has to say.
I can't wait. I wish I could go, but I can't wait to hear about it. I can't wait to hear about your experience. I know there is obviously lots of people going who are incredibly excited, and we wish you the absolute best in leading that event and narrating that event. What an incredible opportunity!
Thank you. I just hope the weather and health and all of that cooperates so she can arrive safely, that she can have a great experience here on the coolest coast.
Yes, yeah, it's just a couple of days away.
Connor did remind me too. There's a movie about her life. It's called Temple Grandin. It's biographical, and she's played by Claire Danes, which is pretty cool.
Very, very nice. I was going to say, there's my Aunt Cindy this morning. Love her way of thinking and how we need to adapt to kids with autism.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Cindy, I'm raising up this glass for you.
She definitely falls in that category.
I just speaking of, right, good friends, Susan and Alex Murtaugh. Alex is, in his 40s. He's also lived a life with autism. And thank God Susan is amazing because she has, kind of like Temple Grandin, given him all of these opportunities and resources and love and encouragement. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, just Susan is such an impressive person, all in her own right. And then, yeah, the way that she encourages and raises him and exposes him to opportunities is just, I love her. I love Alex. It's such an it's a little local inspiration for us. And I know they're going. I know they're excited. So, ooh, tell us about this.
So that's Susan's wrist and Alex's wrist and my wrist. So Susan has had some health challenges, and this is just a reminder. She was just sharing these little bracelets. Positivity. I just love that word, right?
Yes, she is. I mean, if you have met Susan, you know that she is like a ball of energy. Even on days when she doesn't feel good, she is just such a spitfire. If you don't know her, you want to meet her.
Right, right. If you don't know her yet, you will be fortunate on the day that you do. Connor mentioned he has autism, and he says Temple Grandin's journey is exactly almost like his. He said it takes a community or a village to bring the best in a person.
Yeah,
Connor, thanks for sharing that comment.
that is really cool. Well, we're counting down the days. We're going to be cheerleading you all the way, Tina Priggy, and just know you will have a whole audience of friends there.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, please, no hecklers, okay? Okay, Kristin, speaking of hecklers, I imagine there was no heckling happening at this performance.
no, other
Where
than
in the
that,
world is this?
look at that little heckler down in the bottom left corner. Little, little sass. This is the Northern Sky Theater in Door County, which is actually located within Peninsula State Park. And we have camped there for a number of years, but this was the first time we took in a show while we were there. Oh my gosh, blew our socks off. It's so good.
So what kind of show?
So this is it's actually a prelude to Belgians in Heaven, if anybody has seen that. It's called, I had to think a second, Hell's Belgians. So these are locally written, locally produced, locally written music, and they perform on the stage there. And a lot of them have a national following now. It's incredible. And so the Hell's Belgians is a new show. It opened Thursday night, and we got to see it on Friday.
What?
Which I didn't even know, but I feel really special. It's an all new show. So if you've seen Belgians in Heaven, this show is actually like what happened before that show. So you can see them in order. I think you can see them any which way, but it was awesome. There is a gentleman in the show that does sound effects just with his voice. Incredible.
So is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's so good. Like the kids loved it. They thought it was great.
Oh, they did. Okay, that was going to be my next question because, sometimes what works for an adult isn't necessarily
Yep.
kid friendly.
They thought it was funny. And like here's the cool thing. You just showed that this theater is outside. So you're sitting out. There's a little mini pit there. The music is live. It's a small cast. It was, I think, 6 people. So funny, so good, so worth the money.
Yeah, and it's in this incredible setting. You can see right there in the forest.
Yep.
What a perfect combination. Good
Yeah.
theater and entertainment, beautiful nature.
Yeah. They have a little snack bar there if you need snacks. You can carry in snacks or drinks, but just very low key and really fun. You can see it's very casual. People are camping and hiking and doing stuff and then taking in a show. So I think in June there's one show a night, and then in July there's actually 2 shows a night. So I think we had tickets to the 6 o'clock, but in July, then there's a late show also. And it was just a blast. It's so worth taking a ride up there if you want to take in an outdoor theater.
Do you have to buy tickets in advance, or is it like show up the night of, first come, first
We
served?
just bought them like the day before online. And I don't, it wasn't obviously the receipts open, like it wasn't busy that night, but I think as the summer goes up, so some locals had shared with us that like this is still a little bit of the slow season, but like within a couple of weeks, definitely going into the 4th of July, then Door County is gangbusters until basically the end of October. So I would
Oh,
maybe check ticketing ahead of time just to see how things look. Um, but
okay, so don't assume you can just slide into a seat the night of.
that's correct. That's
Hey, speaking of camping, is this your camper in this photo?
This is our camper.
That's amazing, Kristen.
Yeah, this was actually 2 weeks ago. There's a newer campground at the new zoo in Swamico at the reforestation camp there.
Oh.
And we were camping for the weekend and we had some rain on and off on Saturday. And I didn't take the shot. I have to give Grace credit. Look
Oh,
at this shot.
yeah.
Isn't it so good?
And how incredible. I feel like there have been so many rainbows recently, and to see this, like, strong double rainbow is really beautiful.
Yeah, the Irish luck is upon us this spring.
Well, and I think especially you because, okay, yes, it is it is ball season, right? And you sent me this photo, and I was, like, studying the gameplay, but then you're like, "Tina, did you see the rainbow?" And I hadn't, but there's another rainbow in this
Yeah.
picture.
It was faint. It's in the kind of more in the first third of the picture from the left, kind of it starts up at the bottom, right by the end of the bridge there. But yeah, we were let's see, it'll be 2 weeks ago on Thursday. We were in Mishicot watching Grace play and it downpoured for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes. They kind of paused the game. They went back to playing and then there it is, another little rainbow.
I'm impressed that they will keep playing in those conditions, right? That they're not like, "Oh, it's raining, let's go," right?
Well, if it's sprinkling, they'll keep playing. Thunder and lightning is usually like the thing that makes it get delayed or canceled. But on that night, it downpoured, so they paused it for 15 minutes or so. We waited it out, and then they went back to playing. So they got to finish, which was really great.
Yeah, and the field doesn't get too, like, mucky?
It's not. It depends where it is and what the fields are made of, but most of the time, unless it's really driving rain for a long period of time, it's usually okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do they end up, like, caked in mud after the game? I feel like it's, like, the perfect setup for a laundry detergent commercial or a
I don't think so. I mean, I think she slid once that night, so she maybe had dirt on her pants, but it's not bad.
okay.
Less
Maybe
dusty, to be honest.
oh, yeah.
Where when the fields are really dry and the wind's blowing, then it'll kick up dust. So
So Grace herself is a performer. She does a lot of shows. What did she think of the show up in the woods?
I think like all of the kids thought it was so cool. So one of the things is like the person that did sound effects and voiceovers, he sat on stage. We got to watch him do this. So, he would make like footstep sounds or like there's a part in this show where they're bowling and he would do it. Just imagine all the sounds that go with like picking your ball up from, the return and then rolling it down and then what the pins sound like and then the ball coming back and all this stuff. And he did everything. He did all of it.
That's an
Yeah.
amazing skill. So back in the day, was that like Spaceballs where there was a guy that would do that?
I don't know.
Back in like the, airplane era, kind of Spaceballs era, there was one actor who was like renowned for doing that.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but
And I feel like Robin Williams did a little bit of that.
oh, sure.
But this guy is a pro. And so sometimes you could just sit and like, I was mesmerized by him because it's like, how does he do that? And he would toss props into the scene and then they would toss them back out to him. And then there's in both shows that I mentioned, there's an invisible chicken. And so like he was the voice of the chicken also and did the clucking and just it's incredible. Go check it out.
Hey, speaking of chickens, apparently, so at the library, there is a traveling exhibit, part of the National Endowment of the Arts, called American Farmer. And this is one of the portraits that will be on display there. I just love it. He's holding his rooster.
I love it. He looks like an American farmer.
Yeah.
Hardworking, big hands, dirty.
So I think that exhibit is just opening up. I can't wait to go check it out.
That is so it is open already.
Oh, let me just double check. No, June 17th. Oh, yeah. Yes, that it opened already and it'll run through October 20th.
That is awesome. Oh, Manitowoc Public Library. Oh, I almost said the Raw West. Manitowoc Public Library. Oh, nice. So it's usually, just so you guys know, when you walk in the library, those exhibits are usually right on the main floor when you walk in.
Yeah, right, right. And again, I love it. It's like, a little bit of knowledge passing through the city. It won't always be there, but they're, constantly bringing new opportunities. And it kind of ties in with Dr. Temple Grandin being here because one of the ways she has made her way in the world is she designs humane, cattle-friendly chutes. Chutes that they have to pass through, like if they're going to get inoculations or if they're going to go into a dip vat to get cleaned off, or if they're going into like a slaughterhouse, right? Rather than it being something that they're fearful of, she was able to visualize these ways to make them so the cattle's like, oh, this is cool. Let me go this way. You know what I mean?
That is incredible. I can't wait to hear about your experience.
Thanks. Cross your fingers.
You don't need fingers crossed. You have this.
Thank you.
You have this.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out too. This is Jason Prigge. He just won second place at the Cedarburg Plein Air Art Festival. So this is a shot of him. You can see the canvas is stamped plein air. You have to show up on opening day and you can get a couple of canvases stamped, and then you've got a few days to create works outside in plein air within a certain boundary. And I'm just so proud of him that he won second place.
What is significant about the stamp?
So you can't take a canvas, for example, that maybe you've been working on for a month in your studio and come down and try to submit it. So like they have a specific stamp that shows that you showed up on the day, you got these specific canvases stamped, so they weren't worked on prior to.
That is so cool. How many other people are there doing this? Like when Jason's participating?
At this event, there were 150.
Holy cow.
So I think second place is really significant.
That is, he is fabulous. Look at, wait.
Yeah.
That's Jason Prigge proof right there, right?
Yeah. Right.
Is that the winning piece, Tina?
No, it's not. I don't even have a picture of it. I'm so sorry. I did not plan ahead well.
Come on. Okay, next week. Well, congratulations, Jason. Second place is incredible. What a cool opportunity to go and do that.
Yeah, I love it.
So is there people walking around watching you paint?
Yeah, people can walk around, people walk up and like comment, and
very cool. What did he paint? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the winning painting, it's actually kind of an alley. So like, and he showed me that he took a picture of it. So if you and I just walked by, what we'd see with our eyes, and you would never stop and look twice at it.
Yeah.
He just made this alley look so charming. It's like the back of a building, there's like a vent that's coming out. There's an old electric pole that's kind of at an angle. It just, you would never think twice about it. And he just made it look like this place you want to stop and visit.
That's cool. So he's actually painting a scene from Cedarburg.
Yeah, on site.
Okay. Very cool. What a cool thing.
And I just wanted to mention, I did pop down to see him while he was doing that. And we found this breakfast brunch restaurant called Toast. Have you ever been there? Have you ever heard of this place?
So I've not been to, I've been to a Toast. I don't know if it's the same. Like I've been to one in Green Bay, like De Pere.
Oh, so yeah, this had like a groovy kind of like 60s vibe. They had like albums and stuff. Is it the same in De Pere? Oh, it was such good food. I was blown away.
Was it? What a fun thing. What did you have to eat there?
I had avocado toast, the best avocado toast of my life.
Really? What made it special?
I mean, the flavor, right? Like every bite, like you could be distracted, right? You put this bite in your mouth and it would just make you stop. You'd be like, I just have to stop and enjoy this bite of food. Which really, I want all my food to be like that, right?
I would guess having Jason Priggy living in your house that you get to have that experience more than the average person.
The cobbler's kids never have new shoes.
Wait a second. I know he cooks for you guys.
No, he does. He does. It's awesome.
What
He's
did
great.
Jason have to eat there?
He got some sort of like hash skillet.
Mm, that sounds so amazing. Okay, let's talk about this because we're talking about breakfast places, other places. What's your favorite breakfast place in Manitowoc?
My favorite, I guess it depends on what I'm in the mood for, but I really enjoy going to Dolly's.
Mm,
But I also, you know, I've had great food at Manitowoc Coffee. Wrap It Up opens a little later now, but their food is really good.
mm.
Oh, I don't want to miss anything. Well, tell me some of your favorites.
So Manitowoc Coffee, I think, has like the best pancakes.
Mm.
One of the best pancakes. And I don't even eat pancakes that often, but if I'm there, I'm kind of like, ooh, I really got to get a pancake because I know they're so good. They're like thick.
Mm.
We love Whispering Orchards.
Yes, I love
Not
this.
city of Manitowoc proper, but Manitowoc County, very, very good.
Coast. Yeah,
Um,
their food is really good.
Does a pretty good job.
I've
Also,
never had Late's breakfast.
and fast, very fast. Those
I've
would
been meaning to try breakfast at Bud Wilman's too. Bud Wilman's has
Ooh, I think
an amazing split pea and ham soup,
yes,
but I haven't been for breakfast.
they do. They always have good soup. I think Bud Woman's also has some pretty mean pancakes.
Ah,
Okay,
all right.
hungry.
Well, viewers, tell us your breakfast suggestions. We'd love to
That's
know.
great. I hope you have an amazing day. It's so good to see you.
Thanks. You too. You want to do this again next week?
I totally want to do this again next week. 2 weeks was way too long to not be with you.
Aw, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. So good to see you again, Kristin. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We'll see you next time.